Hey, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Hollywood After Dark. I feel like I haven't streamed over here in a while. I know this is my first official stream of 2020 on this channel, and that's fantastic. What's going on, Chile? And what's going on, Lunif? How you guys doing? I know you guys came over from the Discord. Thought it'd be fun to chat for a little while just to see what's going on. Yeah, I haven't streamed for a bit. I know. It's just, with Christmas and then New Year's, I just kind of haven't had the time and been figuring out how exactly I want to approach the streaming potential that comes from this. Uh, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. There's things I'm working on. There's ideas that I'm working on. I just have to sit down and formulate them, and it will be good. I hope. But this whole collider situation has just been fucking wild, hasn't it? It's been so goddamn wild. I mean, here we're dealing with the potential collapse of a pillar of movie journalism, online entertainment, and it feels like it's at its end, its inevitable conclusion, and it's sad. It's sad. Garrick here asks, "Are you looking forward to Mark Fernandez, not Hernandez, Fernandez?" It's a common mistake on Campia show. I am. Yeah. I have predictions about that. I have predictions about everything. I have a feeling if I could put out my proverbial hot take, my proverbial prediction, Campia is going to move into the studio and start producing movie talk. I think he's going to do it. I think that's if he's not going to do it, they have definitely been talking about it. And I would say that would probably be something that would happen down the road. Because Mark still wants to compete. You could tell he still wants to compete. He feels defeated by Campia. Campia tweeted out that he would like to get the movie talk title back. He's at least going to get the title. But if Mark is smart, if he's a smart dude, he will find a way to bring Campia back into the studio and find a way to split the revenue or something like that. But why? I mean, but at the same time, why would Campia pay out all of that super chat money, right? All of that super chat money in order to split it with somebody else unless there was access to some major stuff. It all depends. But I see something happening. I don't know what yet, but I see something going down. Tomorrow morning will be very interesting. Let's see here. Have I seen The Witcher? No, I haven't. I have not had the time to sit down and watch it. I almost did last night. I was going to stream last night, and both my daughters are sick. And they had like some stomach bug thing, so there's vomit, there's diarrhea. You know how it is. And I was so tired that about 7:30 p.m. last night, I'm like, I'm just going to lay down for an hour. Get up, get ready, do a stream. Slept until 1:30 in the morning, and then I was just awake. So I played PUBG, and then my power went out, and then I just laid in bed and hung out, listened to a Mad Max stream. There was that. That's yeah. So I haven't seen The Witcher yet. It's on my list though. Let's see. Rise of Skywalker. You think JJ did retro trolling of Ryan? Yeah. There's no way to look at it. There's no way to look at that and not think, yeah, there's something here. There's clearly a little bit of a joking, a little bit at Ryan's expense there. Let's see, that Collider news conference was a sad affair. It was. I've been accused of going a little bit too hard on what's his name, on Mark, and that's why I did that video today to kind of like offer some advice, and whatever my advice is. However you want to look at my advice. There are people out there that are just like, you're the stupidest idiot out there. Why would we ever listen to you? Like, what do you know about YouTube? I'm like, I know a lot about YouTube. I know a lot about the culture, but if you have the facilities to do it well, which I think he does have the facilities to do it well, he just needs to bring in somebody that can handle it. Kind of like, he could be the Kathleen Kennedy, and he needs someone to be The Kevin Feige. He needs a Kevin Feige. That's why Campy would be a good choice. Let's see. James here says, I have a feeling Campy is just going to be nice and polite to Fernandez, and it would just be another big nothing burger. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Campy is going to be polite. Although, all things considered, Mark going on there after Campia tore Jack a new asshole for 26 minutes, tore him a new asshole. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. Jack took one for the team, right? He did. And I said that, and I stand by that. Jack took one for the team. He defended, he was a company man, he defended the company, defended its honor. Threw himself on that live grenade that he kind of also pulled the pin on, but still he went out there to go do it. And then Mark's like, well, I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to discipline him, which I thought was stupid. Not even a public apology. It's like, come the hell on, man. And then you had, then he's going on Campia's show, and it's all like, really? You're going to go on the show of the dude who tore your employee a new asshole, who reached inside of his soul and just tore him apart? You're going to go on there and play nice? Like, dude, I have a feeling Jack no longer works for Mark. Do I think if Campia had the money, he would buy Collider's assets? I think he just wants movie talk. He just wants the branding. That might be what he's buying, is the branding. And that's where, if I were Mark, I would be smart and I would license the branding. Like, oh, John, you want it? Well, why don't you use it? But you got to come into my studio, and then we'll find a way to make it work. Everything else. James, oh, thank you very much, man. Yeah, they're both feeling better today. They're feeling better today, which is good. I'm really happy that they're feeling better. They were actually able to hold food down, which was good. Yesterday, I was steam cleaning the carpets a little bit more often than I would like. So. All right, let's see here. Do I think Rise of Skywalker will beat Last Jedi at the box office? No, I actually don't. I think it's going to tap out at about maybe 1.1 to 1.3. And 1.3 is a high one, which is unfortunate because it is a definite far cry away from my initial projections and then even my modified expectations. The movie had a real strong start. There's competition in the marketplace now, and I think that it's going to do well on home video, but I think The Last Jedi really hurt stuff. It really did. Would I have fired Jack Hind, whatever? No, I would not have fired him, but I would have made an example. I would have made him publicly apologize on camera, looking dead into the lens, and just saying, I'm sorry. So sorry. No, I would have made him apologize. I wouldn't have fired him because I don't think he said it 100% to be a dick. Like, he said it to be a dick, but it wasn't like maliciously being a dick. It was a stupid thing to say, but he was defending the company. And I'm one of those people that's like, if I'm in a company, I'll defend the company. Like, it's kind of like my home. That's how I view it. Like, when I worked at my old theater, like, you talk shit about my theater, you talk shit about me, sort of thing. So, like, that's how I view it. But I would have had him apologize publicly. Like, I'm sorry to everyone who I offended. I shouldn't have said it. It was a dumb thing to say. I was just, defending the company, blah, 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 blah. There's no excuses, blah, 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 blah. Please forgive me. Don't put this on anyone else but me, that sort of thing. It would have been done. It would have been done. It would have been over with. But yeah, not saying what it was and not having him, like, I don't know. Maybe he's not working there anymore. Let's see here. Let me take a look here at the comments. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, you feel sorry for the guy. I think he overexpanded his operations and ran out of money. YouTube has a problem with AI bots, is what I think. Well, YouTube has a problem with too many cooks in the same kitchen. And what I mean by that is, like, okay, so I'll be honest, like, so I've got 32,000, nearly 33,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. The 14 of you that are here right now, I'm very happy you guys are here. Do I want more subs? Yeah, totally, 100%. At the height of my other channel, I had 163,000. I was pulling in like 60,000 views a day. I don't get that anymore, but I was getting that for a while. And I was very happy with that. Not necessarily happy with the content I was making, but that's a whole other argument for a whole other story for a whole other day. But when you have so many people covering the same thing, it very much dilutes the type of content, right? Like it very much dilutes it, which is why everyone's always trying to be first. You know, it's why everyone's like, oh, let me do a trailer reaction. Why? It's quick, easy content that gets clicks, especially if you're first. If you can get in within that first hour of, or hell, even the first 20 minutes of that trailer dropping, you might get an upswing, which brings a lot of views your way, maybe some new subs and maybe some money. Same goes for movie news. If I don't cover something within like the first 12 hours of it kind of dropping, it runs the risk of not getting any traction. And it's not to say that like people don't want to hear my take or my audience doesn't want to hear my take, but more things happen, more people cover it. It's more, I don't want to say clutter because I don't think clutter is the right word, but there's more competition. And in the case of movie talk and in the case of everything else like that, you had this situation where Campia was just kicking its ass. And he was the competition and he was just outdoing them at every step of the way because they couldn't compete with Campia. And that's a lot of the problem here. That's a lot of where the overextension came from. And then also in regards to Mark Fernandez, he tried, overextending, moving into gaming, moving into sports, like I get it. I get that he's trying to be some like entertainment zine sort of thing, but it just doesn't it just wasn't working well. Let's see here. Okay. So my buddy, Nerd Report's here. What's going on, Lewis? I don't know if we can hear him. His mic's on and stuff. Can't hear you. He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. All right. Let's see here. Sherlock Holmes 1 or 2. 1, but I do love number 2. Thoughts on Ricky Gervais's Golden Globes monologue. I thought it was good. I thought it was funny, but I also, my favorite part of it was how many people I triggered today when I said maybe we shouldn't, the type of response he got. Everyone's all like, "Oh my God, Ricky Gervais is speaking truth to power."
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right.
So hold on, let me finish this thought. So basically, Gervais is worth $130 million, works with all the major companies, all the major corporations, and is paid to stand on the stage for 8 minutes and roast Hollywood. He is as part of the machine as you can come. So take what he says with a grain of salt. Funny, definitely poignant, but take it with a grain of salt. People were just like, he's the new Jesus Christ. I would just like, because again, like I'd like to point out there's a movie out there. Not a lot of people saw. I want to say it's from 2000 and either 6, 7, or 8. It's called Man of the Year. Robin Williams played a late night comedy host, think like Jon Stewart, who made the joke about running for president and ended up becoming president elect. And it was a satire movie. It was kind of a dark. I think Barry Sonnenfeld did it. No, who's the other one? Barry, the guy who did Wag the Dog. Who did Wag the Dog? It's Barry Levinson. Barry Levinson did it. Because it's more of a political thing, and so that kind of stuff happens. But really, it's kind of like, I don't know. I think Gervais is funny, but I don't really put a lot of stock into that crap. Oh no, he didn't do Man of the Year. My bad. Who did that movie? Anyway, what's going on with you, Lewis? How you doing, man?
Just chilling. I haven't been on my channel or anywhere else. Well, no, that's not true. I was on your thing yesterday when you were kind of reacting to Mark Fernandez's, rebuttal to or answer to all the stuff that's going on the internet about Collider. But yeah, I haven't done much lately, man. I'm just tired. As you know, I've moved or helped move Frank and Son Collectible Show here in Los Angeles. It's like a mini Comic-Con, in case you guys don't know. And I'm exhausted. And I've just lost my place here on YouTube. if I had any.
It happens, man. It
Yeah.
definitely happens. Yeah, no, you're doing the Frankensons is this like it is like it's like this Comic-Con. It looks like a Comic-Con.
Yep.
Same style of booths and everything. Like it he's got some live streams of it, and I'm like, holy shit, that looks like Comic-Con. But
Yep.
it's located in the city of industry.
Correct.
So it's not anywhere glamorous.
Ha. No, it's all right, man. I mean, we moved the building over there to an old Sam's Club, and it looks nice. It looks really nice, very impressive. People seem to like it. Free parking, free admission. You know, open 3 days a week. All the dealers that you will see, all the stores that you will see at Comic-Con, pretty much are there. You know, so
Yes, it's located it's at one location, so it's nearest to you.
yeah, it's right there on City of Industry off Azusa.
That's my favorite line from Friday After Next. When the dad and the uncle open a chicken shop, and it's all like located on Crenshaw Boulevard, only one location, so it's nearest you. It was great. Also, okay, so Bianca here says people keep telling me that Gervais didn't say anything he wasn't allowed to say. Yeah, it's true. Everything he said was the NBC censors were ready for. They knew the jokes. They were ready to censor him. They knew the jokes he was going to say. So I'm not even like, yeah, that's the other part of it too. I kind of feel like doing like a bit of a breakdown on that, like why it's really not that big of a deal. Really want your opinion on.
Mine?
Yeah, because Garrick here asked the question, and you are as close to Access Media as we can find right now.
Well, I got you in there too. Remember? I got you in that one.
You did, yeah, you did get me into Star Wars. That is true. Now the question becomes, will I get into Black Widow?
Maybe you have to. Yeah, you have to accept checks.
Damn it, my credit's terrible. Can we do like a money order? So. But no, because Gary here asks, do you consider Campia part of the Access Media?
100%.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Like you don't. If you ever seen pictures of John Campia like on the red carpet at certain places, like, you know, I mean, I know he gets in kind of similar to like the way you do.
Yeah, but we have pretty much the same hookups.
But it's like the guy sitting there like posting photos, like, oh, we're at the Skybox at the Lakers game.
I've done that before. I just don't like Lakers.
That's sacrilegious to say in LA, man. I don't like
basketball, man. I don't like sports. I'm a nerd. I hate it when I'm watching. Sorry if I offend anyone in the chat, but I hate it when I'm watching or enjoying a nerd podcast and they start talking about football and stuff. It's just like it's like it reminds me of like, oh, look at me. I'm not that nerdy. I'm kind of cool. I'm a jock that likes Star Wars. But yeah, Campia is part of the Access Media. There's nothing wrong with being part of the Access Media. I think people that rant about that all day on YouTube are just, they wish they were part of it, and that then they can't. But, you know, being part of the Access Media, you could say you don't like stuff. You know, you could say you don't like Star Wars. I mean, I've said the story to you, Matt, before. I didn't like the Halloween movie, and they send me masks to give away, the Michael Myers mask to give away, and I still gave the movie a bad review because I didn't like it. I thought it was a ripoff of the other films and nothing original, and that's just my opinion. Whatever, they don't care. As long as you don't use F-bombs to describe the director and stuff like that and insult people personally, it's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you're free to not like something, but it is that whole professionalism of like, oh hey, yeah, don't call that person a cunt.
Yeah.
You know, like perhaps not do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't blame them for that. And there's a few things you have to respect, such as if you're invited to a screening and there's an embargo, you know, it's their house, their rules. Just respect the embargo rules. I mean, you know, that's pretty reasonable. And then if you don't like the movie, say you don't like the movie. Big deal. I was at the red carpet for Star Wars, and my initial reaction wasn't that great, Matt. You know, so I mean, they didn't call me and go, "Hey, no more access for you." They actually called me for more stuff. I didn't insult anyone. I just feel that Star Wars should have been treated a little better, the new trilogy, and you know, I expressed that opinion. I felt the new movie was a bit rushed, and still, they're not going to provoke anything or anything like that. So,
yeah. Oh no, obviously, dude. Obviously, yeah. I don't think
there's a few people that take it a little bit too far, though. I mean, there are YouTubers that I listen to, and it's just I don't know what their opinion is. It's like they talk. It's too vanilla, like too, you know, both sides, and it's like. there's no. I don't feel like they're being genuine with the what the information they're giving me. So
Sure, I get that. I think like one of the things that that I hear a lot about me, people will go, "Oh, I love you on $3 Theater because like you're knowledgeable, but on your other channel, it seems like you don't care." And I'm all like, that's a weird thing to say, but I kind of get it. There's more passion over here, you
Well,
know.
people sometimes they think you're feeling one way and it's not, or they're really accurate. I personally, Matt, if I had to assess you, I think you're happier here on $3 than the other place.
Oh yeah.
And they could probably detect it. So I think it's pretty accurate, assessment right there.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, and that's also like you got to be the whole personality thing, right? Like I think what people liked about the Campia rant about Collider was that like gloves came off, like Andy Signor's out there going, "Oh, you should do this kind of stuff more often." Like, no, that's not his.
Well, this is something that was burning in his gut for a long time. Come on.
Yeah, for 2 years.
And there's probably stuff we don't even know about, we'll never know about. My only thing that it's like, is this the content that gets views on YouTube? And if so, am I in the wrong space here? Because like I can't sit here and talk crap about Star Wars all day, or talk crap about other YouTube channels or other drama all day. It's just not in my DNA, man. And even like someone like Campia who gets what, $20,000, $30,000 views, sorry, per video average. I've noticed with that rant, he's at 300,000. Even he got more. People want to see and hear that. And it's just not me, dude.
Well, I think it's not so much like given the subject matter, right, and how fast it spread.
Yeah.
And then also like the fact that, because like what it blew up in general, kind of like I talked about the Jack Hines situation before Campy did. I didn't even know about the video, and I didn't know about that at all. And I'm all like, oh shit, like it kind of blew up, and I was really happy with it because I got like a 20,000 views on that video, and that's a lot for my channel.
Cool.
And I'm all like, yeah, boy. But, I think also it's like being fair on the situation. And then Campia was, again, you're right. He had all those years of shit burning at him that he just kind of let out. And that kind of stuff doesn't happen all the time. And there's never a way to sustain it yourself. There's never a way to do it. So it's like you can't always get angry. You can't always be angry about everything. And that's the thing I do. I look for stories when I cover stuff. I'm like, okay, what's cool? But I've been noticing so much more of what's coming out is not news, right? It's not news. It's just like a fucking tidbit, or it's like you
mean in entertainment news?
In entertainment news, yeah.
Oh,
there's
no, we could go like this. We could go like this. Okay, so there's some reports right now that Andy Muschietti, is that how you pronounce the name?
Muschietti, the leaning tower of pizza. I don't know. I think it's Muschietti. I think it's Muschietti.
He's it looks like he's directing a remake for The Howling for Netflix, and I think that's a pretty interesting subject. But I also feel like if I go on my channel and report about that, I'll get very few hits. But if I say Collider is burning, I'll get a lot of hits. Or I'll and it's just, I want to talk about Howling remake. That sounds very interesting to me. Coming to Netflix, and come on, you got some big time directors going on Netflix, going up against Disney Plus. I think that's very interesting news. What do you think?
Well, no, I think that there's a lot of the interesting side of it, I should say, is to me, it's more streaming. Streaming is where it's really where things are interesting. If you're looking at it from the perspective of the industry as a whole, because I mean, just look at you and I were talking about this before going live, but look at the news, today with Warner Brothers deciding that they wanted to team up with an AI company, to determine like which films to greenlight.
Are you sure that's not an April Fool's joke?
No, it's a legitimate thing. It's like, well, these things already happen anyway. They're just going to make it a lot easier. And it's all like, okay,
well, but an AI is a calculator. I mean,
yeah. Well, they go, well, it's not going to sit there and say like what they said was it's not going to determine everything. that the gut reaction, gut instinct of producers is going to be what ultimately it boils down to. But that is even then, like, you know, let's say Warner's is a perfect example. As Warner's starts getting more and more flops under its belt, which it did a lot in 2019. It hasn't had a solidly successful franchise that's not low budget horror in a while. I said successful.
DC is successful. The last 4 movies they're flirting with $1 billion.
The 145 million Shazam got is a little bit further away from $1 billion.
$145 million. What did it do worldwide? It didn't cost $200 million to make, though. It's a
lower. No, let's see. Shazam worldwide box office. I think it was around it was 224. No, wait, worldwide is 365.
Yeah, it's okay, and it helped the brand. People want to see the new stuff. It got The Rock interested in being part of it because he's going to go up against Shazam. Then we have Wonder Woman, which Wonder Woman 800 million, I believe, about and
it was like 760. And no, it cleared. I think it cleared 800. It doesn't matter. I know what you're trying to say.
And Joker cost $2 and it made $1 billion. So I think they're live, man. And I'm hearing Birds of Prey is an extremely good movie. It's going to shock people.
Yeah, I know you're telling me about that. I'm curious to see, but I mean, okay, but outside of that, Warner's doesn't have much. I mean, they're trying to It Chapter 2 did okay, but nowhere near as good as the first movie.
No.
Doctor Sleep did okay. No, but that bombed actually.
Okay, so it did, and it sucks because it's a good movie, and that's something the AI cannot control is human marketing. You get what I mean? Like with Godzilla, we were talking about how Godzilla should have been $1 billion movie, but they burned out the audience with it. They kept showing you so many trailers. It felt like every time I go to IMAX, they're showing you 10 minutes of the same scene over and over again. I was just burned out with the movie by the time it came out. And, I think that hurt.
Well, they did that too. But again, that's Warner's MO when it comes to marketing. They did that. Yep. What was it? Back in Comic-Con 2015. I was at their presentation in Hall H, and they showed off this 5-minute preview for The Man from U.N.C.L.E., right? And my friend and I look at each other and we go, wait, did we just see the whole movie? And we're sitting there, I'm like, I mean, it looks good. And I didn't see it when it came out. I went and saw it right towards the end of its run. And I fucking loved it. Oh my God. I'm all like, the trailer was not the movie. They should have played up the comedy. The trailers played up the action. But they should have played up the comedy. The movie's funnier than hell. With Armie Hammer, Armie Hammer, Arnie Hammer, as like the joke, as like what was it? Henry Cavill is a straight man. Napoleon Sully, he was great. And Alicia Vikander was great too. Hugh Grant was great. I mean, even Elizabeth Debicki. It was very well done, very stylistically done. And
I heard a lot of good stuff about that.
It's such a good movie.
Able to see it.
Oh, dude, it's so funny. It's so goddamn funny. Like, it's Guy Ritchie, and you're like, oh, this is good Guy Ritchie. And this is like the kind of thing that you would get out of it had a bit of a Sherlock Holmes feel to it. Because it's the same director, but it wasn't like, set in Victorian era London. And it was just good. And it was very stylistic, very well put together. And it fucking crashed. And I've said for years, I mean, like, Warner Brothers cannot run a fucking franchise.
Well, I mean, I think most studios can. I don't think Disney can. I'm sorry. I know you're going to say Marvel, but outside of that, Marvel started before Disney. I mean, Marvel was already doing well with a couple films, and Disney bought it. They botched up what's that other movie? The Lion, the Prince and the Wardrobe, the Narnia. That was bad. John Carter from Mars. Star Wars is iffy. So I think like a lot of studios have a problem with it.
Well, no. Well, hold on here. 2005's Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe was very well received.
It crashed. They didn't.
Well, hold on. They decided to do the wrong thing with Prince Caspian. Prince Caspian, they should have released it in winter, right? Which is when they released The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in December 2005. In May of 2008 is when they ran up against, they put Prince Caspian. But that month in general, and I bring this month up relatively often in conversations, The first week of that month was Iron Man, an unmitigated success that nobody really thought was going to be as big as it was. The next week after that was Speed Racer, which fell because of Iron Man. And that movie was great. I don't care what anyone says. Speed Racer,
That's a
was
Warner Brothers.
that was Warner's, right? That was Warner's. And then after that, it was Prince Caspian. And then after that, it was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Paramount.
Yeah, it's Paramount. Yeah. What I'm talking about here is this just in general, that month was packed to the brim. And there were some more movies in there that
Well,
I'm
you're
not.
telling me they don't know how to handle franchises.
I'm telling you that they were so. This is right on the time where we started seeing the real big decline of the summer movie season, right? Like they keep packaging everything and pumping it out in those 3 months, and it's like they finally have been learning, spread this shit out a little bit, and it's been working for them in some cases. But they still look at Godzilla King of the Monsters, Memorial Day weekend. You know, traditionally, like
That should have been huge.
it should have been huge. It should have been a November release or an
Yeah.
October release, right?
But, hey, Warner Brothers has Harry Potter.
And when and yes, and those movies originally all came out in November.
But they're Warner Brothers.
But-
I'm saying we're talking franchise success rate. I mean, what would you consider New Line Cinema would be? Would that be Warner Brothers with Lord of the Rings, or was that were they still like under?
Well, that was we're talking, but those are also like the adaptations of
but
stuff,
still, it's
right?
kind of like a franchise.
But look at when that came out. That came out same with Harry Potter. Both Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings of Fellowship both came out in the winter of 2001. It was November. It was what Monsters Inc., Harry Potter were both November 2001. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring was December 2001. So that was early on, man. That was really early on. It wasn't as packed back then. You know, I mean,
But
it wasn't.
I think studios just it's very difficult to do. a
Studios are just they're desperate, is what they
Yeah.
are. They're desperate. So you know, I mean, remember the mid to late 2000s when you had like Paramount Vantage and Warner Independent and Sony Pictures Classics, right? These low micro budget studios that like would operate. Was it Fox 2000, right?
Yeah.
Like they would operate these small $5 to $10 million, maybe $20 million pictures that they would pump out. Well, Lionsgate would do like $10 million movies a year, and they would then hope one would kick off and pretty much pay for the rest of them. And that was where we got to see some pretty cool experimental stuff that nowadays they're so afraid to put out there because they don't know. I mean, thankfully we have A24,
Oh yeah.
which is really kind of holding up the mantle, you know, in regards to that. But like, I get so frustrated when I look at the studio system because, you know, they dominate all the press cycles. You're right. If it's not Star Wars or Marvel or DC, not a lot of people care.
No.
And it just like, you know, I'm looking around with the news going like, how can I turn this one sentence of information into a fucking 10-minute video? You know?
Well, I mean, like for instance, The Howling is a cult favorite among horror fans. And
Yeah, no, but could you turn that into a 10-minute video? Because
Yeah.
we're also up against YouTube's
count the hair
algorithm
on-
here.
You count the hair on the wolves.
Yeah,
and then you attach it to a Collider story. I don't know.
Now I'm just saying it's like,
Well, now
okay, Jeffrey's in here. He says Hollywood. Okay, Harry Potter 5 did come out over the summer. So did Harry Potter.
correct.
What was it? And the Deathly Hallows Part 2 was a July 2011 release. Yeah, I know. But the Deathly Hallows Part 1 and I believe Half-Blood Prince were both November.
The
so-
problem with Narnia, though, it felt just too safe. Like
Dude, the C.S. Lewis books are safe.
Yeah, but you gotta would you agree with me with this? Okay, like you got it chapter 1, right? The book is the part of the book we saw with the kids and the movie is what everyone likes. Every time you talk to people about the book, the part with the adults, no one likes. That's when you're gonna have to have some creative liberties. You have to alter the story a little bit, in my opinion, to make it, to make it a good movie. You gotta, even there's a running joke, and this is a spoiler, in it chapter 2, with Stephen King that no one likes the ending of, and they were specifically talking about it, the book, the novel he did. So that's when the writers got to take some creative liberties and change it around. They did it with The Mist. You know what I mean? Although the Mist book ending was fine, the what's his name?
Darabont's ending though was so much better.
Correct. And even it got Stephen King to say his ending's better than my book. And we're talking Stephen King, who gives me the impression he has a big ego, went ahead and said, hey, this is better than what I made. So that's telling a lot. But for it needed to be changed up a little bit. And I think Narnia, yes, C.S. Lewis is safe. It's for kids. It needed to be a little bit altered a little bit to translate better into film, to keep people happy. And same thing with the Lord of the Rings. They did take some creative liberties. Peter Jackson did not create the trilogy to be word by word or exactly like the books.
Well, yeah, but that's an adaptation. I mean, it's just those are always going to happen. But I think Andrew Adamson, which I think is the director of Prince Caspian and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah.
I think he did a good job with those, because that was also produced through Walden Media. Disney was just a distributor, so it wasn't really. I mean, it's technically a Disney movie, but it's also like not really a Disney movie because Walden Media had the rights, and now it's going to Netflix. It's kind of the weird thing too. Why isn't the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Prince Caspian on Disney Plus?
Stuff out, right?
They're still doling stuff out. Yeah, it may show up there eventually. I'm just waiting for John Carter because I want to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that one.
But
out.
the thing, but when it came to the whatever the third fucking Narnia movie was, I forget. That was a Fox. Walden was able to get Fox to distribute that movie, and so they switched it over to that one. And that one they released in, I want to say, like September 2011 is when that movie. No, September, was it possibly September 2010 is when that movie came out, like the Silver something or another. No, it wasn't the Silver Chair. They had announced the Silver Chair. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The thing is they ended up like really, not being, they underestimated how they thought it was going to be another Lord of the Rings. And when they released Prince Caspian in May and it didn't do as well, that was the problem. But I will say this though, like I have the 4-disc DVD of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and that is an amazing box set. Like there's like feature-length documentaries in that thing, you know what I mean? Like it's good stuff. So that's kind of what I'm hoping they bring onto Disney Plus, so I can get my hands on all those behind the scenes stuff.
A lot of people were probably expecting Disney Plus to just dump their entire library on their platform along with Fox's. I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, it all depends on. Oh yeah, Fox did the other Narnia film too, so they got all 3 of them now.
There's another Narnia.
Well, the third Narnia movie that came out. Someone's got to know what it is, right? Okay. Jeffrey says here 2010. Yeah. Was it the Grand Voyage of Dawn Trader? That's what it was. My friend worked on it too. He was one of the animatronic guys. Spent 4 months in Australia working on that movie. He was really happy. Oh yeah. Remember when Disney did Prince of Persia? That was a fun one, right? That was That was Memorial Day 2011. Like, let's put Jake Gyllenhaal as a.
I live in Glendale, so there was a lot of pissed off people.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm so sure. That's great.
You guys, there's a little bit of, I don't know if you, kind of a spoiler. There's some Godzilla versus Kong stuff. You want to know?
Yeah, there was some stuff. There was a toy reveal, wasn't there?
Yes.
And that toy reveal gave away something that I think deep down we both knew was going to be in the movie.
I didn't.
Really? I did, dude. I did. I thought to myself, like, I don't want to spoil it if anyone here doesn't know it.
Well, the toys have come out.
The toy fair happened. The toy fair happened.
I just messed it up. Should we talk about Godzilla King of the Monsters Part 2 or no?
Are they doing King of the Monsters Part 2?
Well, what is it called? It would be the third one.
It's Godzilla. It's Godzilla v Kong.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's not Godzilla King of the Monsters 2. It's Godzilla v Kong.
Yeah.
Oh right, Garrick says they did Lone Ranger. Yeah, where's that on Disney Plus, huh? Bring out that movie. 2013 was a long time ago. Let's bring that back. Fuck me. Where the hell has Gus Van Sant been after that movie? That was a $300 turd. Not even that bad of a movie. Just we had it at the drive-in. It was not bad, but it was just, oh my God, so long. So
Disney
long.
Pictures has been rough, you know?
Yeah, well that's all fucking I don't know when Alan Horn came on, but whoever the hell was running the mids.
No, Alan Horns helped it.
Oh, he did? That was it. Yeah, well, Alan Horn would not have a job if it wasn't for Kevin Feige. I'm just going to say it. He would not have a job.
That honestly.
Huh?
So I'm not too schooled on the history of Alan Horn.
Oh, I'm just saying it's like because Disney's live action stuff is not doing very well. Well, I mean, the remakes are doing well. That's why they keep pumping them out. It's like, oh, this stuff prints money. We can release a live action version of Beauty and the Beast in fucking March and it grosses $1 billion. But 2 years later, we drop Dumbo in the same time frame and it does nothing. Like you gave me that digital code for Dumbo. I have not watched it. It's in my system, but I have not watched it.
You've said that story like 600 times.
No, I haven't. Okay. So, okay. According to Garrick here, Lone Ranger is coming to Disney Plus April 30th. Well, I know what I'm doing. 2 hours and 45 minutes of that movie. Yeah. All right. May 2nd, John Carter, baby. Sweet. Anyway, so
I'm watching Plus very much lately.
You haven't? Oh, dude, every day, man. I got kids. I have watched fucking Toy Story so many goddamn times. I mean that. Like the other morning, I woke up and they were watching Toy Story 3, and I'm all like, okay. And my girlfriend goes to work, so we finished watching Toy Story 3, and then I'm all like, I don't know what to watch now. I'll put on Toy Story 2.
Hollywood Purgatory says Lone Ranger was garbage.
It was garbage, but it was like it was well executed garbage. It looked really good for the budget. It looked pretty good.
What are your thoughts on New Mutants?
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is a very interesting place for Marvel and for Feige. I think if the movie's a success, it's going to be shoehorned in to the greater MCU. It should be in the MCU. It absolutely should be in the MCU. There's no reason for it not to be. This is, I mean, they didn't do any reshoots as you and I talked about. Because you still can't find me an article saying that they happened.
Well, no, but there is the producer, what's his name, Simon Kinberg, did announce that reshoots were going to be done, so that's what we were going by. But then you said that, and you had to dig it up on his Instagram. The director stated that no, this is his original vision, but that doesn't say there weren't any reshoots. So I don't know if there were reshoots just to finish the movie or if there weren't any at all. I don't know,
man. I mean, people I saw someone say like, oh, well, we first saw the trailer for this movie like only 15 months ago. And I'm all like, dude, it's been 25 months.
Yeah, it's more.
It's been 2017. I was in LA when that trailer dropped. I was at a convention and I'm sitting in my hotel room. And it's like, oh, cool. I watched it a few times. I really liked it. And so I saw this new trailer and I really enjoyed the new trailer. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think they're going to play up the horror, which is what we had heard they wanted to cut out. That they wanted to get rid of it. I mean, I don't know if you heard that they want to make it more like palatable.
Well, but was that our assumption because Disney took it over? What do we know? That
no, this was because keep in mind that a month after, or like 5-6 weeks after the trailer for New Mutants dropped, is when we first heard word of the Disney Fox merger. So it was that close, right? It was that close. And so that April 2018 release date for New Mutants, because that trailer for New Mutants came out 5 months before the movie was set to come out. 5 months. So it's like they already had picture lock at that point in time. They had to have had picture lock at that point in time. So they weren't reshoots would have been minor at best. For that quick of a turnaround. I mean, granted, Fast and Furious 7 did the same thing when Paul Walker died. No, I'm wrong. They had a whole year because he died at the end of 2013, and that delayed things, and they reshot the Abu Dhabi stuff and a few other things in 2014, and the movie came out in 2015. But they did delay it a bit. You know, this one is they were locked for 5 months. So I don't think
I was stoked when I saw it. Did my mic just go off?
a little bit, but you're fine.
Yeah, I was stoked when I saw it, like the trailer. It was during Planet of the Apes for me.
Well, Jeffrey's like, it's still technically a Fox film, but it's Feige liked it. Feige liked the cut. So I mean, if Feige is backing it, then it's his producing credit.
I'm gonna predict right now, Feige's not making a Star Wars movie at all.
Nah, dude, he's got to be involved in some way.
I think things have changed.
I don't think so.
Did you hear Baby Yoda's real name? Supposedly.
Taika
Waititi.
Taika Waititi says he knows it.
Yeah, he said he thinks it. Wait, hold on. Let me see what he said. He tweeted it. They asked him what's his name, and then he said he thinks it's what did he say?
Yeah, but you know he's not going to give that information away.
Why not?
Why would Taika Waititi say Baby Yoda's name on Twitter?
So that's around. Why not?
Well, because he's gonna mess around, but it's not the actual name.
Well, they gave away the Mandalorian's name during an interview.
That was Pedro Pascal, though. That was like,
right here.
You know,
it's Nigel. He says, "I think it's Nigel."
Do you believe that?
You know what? I think Baby Yoda does look like a Nigel. What do you think?
Because if you think that, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you.
Because I think it's Nigel, and he retweeted fandom. He retweeted Taika Waititi says he and Jon Favreau know the real name of the child. He's not named Baby Yoda. He retweeted that he goes, I think it's Nigel. And I think he's messing with us, and it is Nigel.
He is, yeah. Obviously, he's messing.
Look, I don't want to call him. I know everybody calls him Baby Yoda. I call him Jeffrey. And sometimes I used to call
man. Him. Oh, now you threw down the gauntlet, buddy. You threw down.
I like that Nigel though.
He doesn't look like a goddamn Nigel.
Someone in the chat says he looks like Gizmo. His name is Gizmo.
Gizmo would be more of an appropriate name than fucking than calling him Nigel.
Nate says Nerd Report needs beachfront property in Arizona. I'm working on it, man. I'm talking to Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor. What do you guys think of the name Nigel? Are you guys down with that name for Baby Yoda?
No. Nigel Thornberry. That's okay. That name I would take.
I do not like Palpatine's first name, Sheev or whatever the hell it is. Awful. Some of these.
Yeah, that's the name I don't get either. Sheev. It reminds me of it just reminds me of I don't know why it's like a penis.
Anakin's.
Hey Jeffrey, what's up, man?
Hold on, let me turn the volume off.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Figured Lewis was talking that trash.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, straight from YouTube, Hollywood Purgatory to be more exact.
By the way,
Jeffrey Harris on Hollywood.
I predicted what would happen in Rise of Skywalker at D23 months before the movie came out. So,
I know. We have it on Nerd Report.
It's on, and if you don't believe me, you can go to the Nerd Report channel, Lewis's channel, and you can check it out.
Because you know it to be.
Here's something: the first scene in the movie. This isn't a huge spoiler.
Can we
the
talk
first
spoilers?
Scene in Rise of Skywalker? is apparently set on Mustafar.
Yeah.
Now, why would you have Kylo Ren going to Mustafar to get a Sith artifact
Are you
and not even give the audience one clue into the fact that it is Mustafar?
Okay.
Yeah, it's volcanic.
Spoilers right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it.
This isn't a spoiler. It's just because there's nothing in the movie to indicate that it is Mustafar. I mean,
you mean
yes,
where he was battling those aliens? That was Mustafar?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well,
yeah, that was Mustafar. It was supposed to be that was, the Vader's castle on Mustafar.
Yeah, in the same planet, from the end of Revenge of the Sith. It's that same place.
Yeah, Star Wars Theory did a video on that about why there were trees and like life apparently was returning to Mustafar. It's not all volcanic, but that castle, that Vader's castle, like it was very strong with the dark side. So there was a lot of
Okay, but we saw the castle in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So you abandon an opportunity for
that castle.
Kylo Ren to kind of explore the castle and just kind of, have that character moment. So they wasted that. Second of all, why is Kylo, if the people he was fighting were Darth Vader loyalists? So why is he fighting and killing Darth Vader loyalists? Like, why are the Darth Vader loyalists like protecting an artifact from Darth Vader's heir and a Sith Lord? That makes no sense. It's bad. It's bad writing. It's bad editing. It's bad storytelling. It makes no sense. What?
Is that, where did you get that information that they were Darth Vader loyalists? Where was that?
This is official. I think it's in the encyclopedia.
They have an encyclopedia already.
Well, no, they've got the visual dictionary.
Visual encyclopedia.
Yeah, and Kylo Ren was smoking them, huh? That's weird.
They were Darth Vader Sith cultists, and that was Mustafar. So, but like you could have put that in the crawl, like Kylo Ren is heading to Mustafar to investigate something. Like they were so rushed, they couldn't even figure these things out. But I mean, that's the epitome of bad writing and storytelling, that you would waste Kylo Ren going to Mustafar and the audience and that's huge. The simple fact of Kylo Ren exploring and going to Mustafar is ridiculous. I mean, it's amazing. And yet they don't even clue the audience into that fact that he's the kind of this guy who is obsessed with becoming Darth Vader and inheriting Darth Vader's legacy is going to the place where he became, or the place where his body was like charred and forced him to wear that suit. Like, that's not it. I can't accept it.
Well, he was looking for the Wayfinder.
Matt, what say you, Matt? You love the movie. So
I did like the movie. Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
Defend that.
Well, like it's the biggest problem with. I mean, like I know it's Mustafar. It's kind of like I agree with you that the first act in the movie has got some serious problems. It's they were.
Calling, they're going to revoke your access media access.
No, I think that it's one of those things where the movie, like they had so much time, they had so many things they needed to put in there, and for some reason they didn't go for that 3-hour cut. We all know that there's more footage that they need to do a JJ cut. I know this is the JJ cut, but they need to do an extended cut, the special edition, just to flesh out some of the finer details. Because I'll tell you this, the thing that still bugs me the most is that goddamn dagger. That goddamn dagger bugs me the most because
Ochi's dagger.
How in the fuck did they know where to go?
You had all these predictions about the dagger, and all your predictions were wrong, Matt.
I had thought it could have been the dagger of Mortis. It would have been cool. It would have been cool to have the dagger of Mortis.
It was a Sith. We know it was a Sith.
Well,
but
I was impression that dagger.
Hey
was
Matt,
in a-
I have a question. Why would a dagger why would a map on a dagger be designed where you can find wreckage of a wayfind, like wreckage after, like, when does that dagger get made? Did someone?
No, I know.
Okay,
That's my problem with the dagger.
I'm gonna go to the moon of Endor. I'm gonna stand in this spot, and I'm gonna make a map on this dagger that will lead me through the wrecked hull of the Death Star 2. So that in a freaking ocean where where it's been there for 30 years. I mean, how is that possible? How is that even possible? How would you make a map like when did he make the map, like 2 years ago? Like, that makes no sense.
Well,
Yeah,
I
Matt.
think there would have been a couple years in between from when the Battle of Endor happened to when Rey was born. So Ochi was a Jedi hunter.
Okay, so
So
Rey was born 19 years before Force
I don't
Awakens.
know, dude. Look, I'm telling you that as I just said, that's my biggest problem with the movie is the goddamn dagger. Like, as much as I enjoy the fact that they tried riffing on Goonies, because Goonies is one of my all-time favorites. I'm an Oregon boy. You know, it's like you kind of have to love that movie. It's in your blood.
I love Goonies. Goonies is a great movie.
But, you know, even Goonies is kind of like the like when they pull out the map and they figure it out, like they figure out how to line up the coin. That's what it was. And it didn't make any damn sense. It didn't make any damn sense. They should have just cut that scene and been like, okay, the dagger says that it's on this it's in the Endor system.
How could those parts of the hull even be there?
Well, they were trying
So,
to do
like,
that Indiana Jones scene where the staff of Ra. But
Yeah,
they
well,
never-
that's the thing. That's the thing I said about the Rise of Skywalker. Is it doesn't feel like J.J. Abrams mimicking George Lucas. It feels like J.J. Abrams making a Steven Spielberg movie.
he's always been more Steven Spielbergish than George Lucas, though.
Yeah, no, totally. But like watching the movie for the third time, I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of Spielberg in this. Like, holy shit.
Okay, I mean, I can believe there being pieces of the Death Star, but that much? I mean, I just can't. Like,
Well,
the whole
I mean,
throne room.
I can.
Like, there were whole throne rooms and compartments that were remarkably intact.
Because
well,
we're
it was the
supposed-
size. Well, okay. So there's a couple factors in that. But for one, it's the size of the wreckage, which it landed in water. Maybe that was just one of the things that like helped kind of soften the blow. But two, the impact of that much mass entering the atmosphere would cause a massive, event. You know, like a meteor hitting. It would have like tsunami'd a lot of shit.
Would
but then
it
it's
even
been
be? But it was all like there were large sections of the ship that were like you can still tell it's a spherical shape. When you see it in the movie, it's basically like vaporized in a shockwave, like this giant interstellar like shockwave. There's like no pieces.
I know what you're saying.
That I can't accept. But where did Palpatine get spat out? Like, what happened there?
How did he survive?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe that wasn't Palpatine in Return of the Jedi.
Did you guys see the double toasted video for the movie?
No.
I think to me, they had like the best take on it. It's a bad movie. None of it makes sense, but it's got some fun moments in it. It's got some nostalgic.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense, but you have to, for one, you have to look things up, which is not something that which is an argument made against it. That's
not good.
So it's like, why wasn't it in the movie? Is the biggest argument that I'll hear.
That's not a good defense. That's not a good defense.
I didn't say it's really a defense. I just said it's like that's one of the things. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it's like one of the things. And I think there's a lot more on the cutting room floor that we haven't seen. And I think it ties it all together. Because I don't think JJ would make this incomplete of a movie. I just don't. Nothing he's ever done has been this incomplete. So there's clearly other elements at play here.
But Matt, this one has like some special things happen. This is a special situation in which we have the second act concluded the trilogy by giving it a happy ending, getting rid of all the villains. So, and these movies are now 2 years apart instead of 3. So we get a rush job. That's why probably it felt so incomplete. Because JJ had to bring a villain, create a villain, develop characters, set up a situation, and then take care of it, wrap it up within 2 hours and a half. So I think maybe that's why it felt incomplete. But do you guys think there's a J.J. Abrams cut that Disney?
No, I don't. I think that there are scenes that are there's like deleted scenes. I think once the movie comes out in March and we start getting a look at the deleted scenes, we're gonna go, oh, okay. Like certain things are gonna make sense, but it's like not gonna be something they can cut together.
I don't believe there's a JJ cut unless I read it on Reddit, because Reddit knows everything.
Hey, Reddit did leak the movie. That did happen.
Oh, yeah,
so that did happen.
Some of it's right.
Matt, how did Palpatine survive?
Okay, so Sith essence transfer is how he did it. The theory I'm gonna go with right now, because we don't have anything else to go on, is in the rule of 2, you know the rule of 2, what that means, right?
Yeah.
Always
No,
two there are, a master and apprentice.
Yes.
One to
so,
to have power and one to desire it.
Yeah, Palpatine knew that Vader was going to betray him.
and that's the whole point, is like the rule of 2 is meant to basically be when the master trains the apprentice and the apprentice learns enough, the apprentice kills the master. When the apprentice finds his own apprentice.
That's kind of a stupid rule, if you ask
me.
The
idea, it was a Darth Bane thing from the High Republic. That's what it's potential. That's what's going to be explored in this new trilogy, is the whole rule of 2 Darth Bane thing. And I'm kind of cool with it, just to kind of like flesh it out.
It's not a bad idea, Jeffrey, because the Sith want power.
Darth Bane died well before the High Republic.
No, he didn't.
Darth Bane died 1,000 years ago and created the rule of 2.
No, because Darth Bane, I think his apprentice was Palpatine's master. No, it wasn't Plagueis. There's like another lineage there, but no, Bane. Darth. You're thinking of Revan. Revan died 1,000 years ago. Bane was not that. It's a whole thing. But
Vader
anyway,
pretty much committed treason in Empire Strikes Back when he said you could destroy the Emperor. You know,
Darth Bane lived 1,000 years before the Clone Wars.
What date though? I need the exact date.
1,000. High Republic is 400. Is like 450 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that nerdy.
I don't think it matters. It's E.
It
If it's all EU isn't canon.
So you're saying Palpatine knew Darth Vader was going to betray him and did what?
I think he was going to, because remember, that's the whole point, is like the whole point of the end scene in the Return of the Jedi was Luke to strike down Vader and join, to turn and to join,
right.
Palpatine and stuff.
Right.
Either or, he was going to come out on top, really. So anyway, when Vader picked up Palpatine, the theory is Palpatine transferred his life essence into Vader's helmet. Now, in canon, current canon, but Sith have that ability.
I don't like.
I like the theory. I think it's fine. I think he transfers life essence into something.
Wouldn't Luke had Vader's helmet and body?
He had Vader's helmet, yeah, and that was kept underneath the temple, his Jedi temple, and that's what was speaking with Kylo Ren at the big.
Yeah,
it's Vader's helmet was under. It was a relic.
He burned it on Endor,
and then brought it to his temple.
It burned completely.
It clearly didn't burn completely. They clearly somehow Kylo got his hands on it.
Took it to the temple so people don't deface it like a memory,
or like it was a relic or something. It was, he was hunting artifacts for a long time anyway. There was a Sith alchemy was used to create that helmet. So, Palpatine made that helmet. So Palpatine transferred his essence into it. And that was a whole line at the end of Rise of Skywalker.
Luke did not know that.
How would Luke? I mean, come on. Palpatine hid himself from the Jedi Council. He did
Luke
all the
was
way
supposed
through.
to be the chosen one.
The chosen one was complete. His arc was complete. This is the thing I don't get about like that argument about the movie invalidates Anakin's arc. It does nothing.
It does.
It does not. Not at all. Not at all.
Kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
Totally.
No,
Yes,
it doesn't.
does.
Explain to me the philosophy of the balance.
Pablo Hidalgo said Anakin fulfilled the prophecy and destroyed the Sith.
For 30 years until one came back. But all the prophecy, all the chosen one prophecy is to restore balance.
But he didn't kill Palpatine.
He didn't kill Palpatine. No, Palpatine survived, but Palpatine was still knocked out of commission for 30 years.
That's not what Pablo said. He said
he destroyed the Sith. At that moment in time, he destroyed the Sith.
Well, this is your theory.
No, it's more theory. This particular thing is more based, if you look at the philosophy of Star Wars.
So, okay. To continue your thread, he transfers himself into the helmet, and then what?
I don't know. Ends up. Because we don't know, for one, but it's possible that in while being on Endor and being left alone, he was able to transfer his essence to something else. Kind of like that movie Fallen. That movie Fallen with Denzel.
It's like Mary saying, "Dark side powers cloning." Yeah, it's possible.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the whole
Throw
point.
away, let's just lampshade all these like big important things with a throwaway line from The Hobbit. Yeah.
Well,
Again, this is not good writing.
I didn't say it was great writing. I'm saying I get
Bad writing.
It's not all bad writing. I think you just want to associate it with bad writing because you don't you haven't taken the time to fucking understand it. That's what I think it's at.
I mean you can't excuse this. This is This is unforgivable. Quite
No,
frankly.
it's not. How is it unforgivable?
Because you can't, if you're going to do something as monumental as bringing back Palpatine and saying he's still alive, you have to. I was never okay with that, but I'm like, if they do this, they better have a damn good explanation. It better not be some herky jerky cookie cutter throwaway BS line, and that's exactly what they did. And
you want to know the worst offender of that? The worst offense on that front? Do you know when they say like the dead speak, a mysterious broadcast was heard throughout the galaxy?
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what that's referring to?
No.
The fucking Fortnite Rise of Skywalker event. I am not kidding. I am not kidding.
I have nothing against Fortnite.
They had a Star Wars event where people like got into the room, into the server, and then you heard Palpatine speak, and then they showed a clip from the movie, and like everyone then got lightsabers, and they were all going to fight. That's what the event was apparently supposed. That to me is so bad. Like, look, there's a lot.
I mean, that whole the crawl was bad because they just.
I like the thing is I am content with how it ended.
And you're content with Rey Palpatine changing her name to Skywalker.
I have no problem with that whatsoever. The entire arc,
pretty honestly, it's like she was looking for. It's not like she's a Skywalker. She had no parents, so I mean, she did, but she was always.
Why
looking
didn't Luke change his name to Organa or Solo?
Because he's a Skywalker. His parents are Skywalkers. Why would he do that?
His
father blew up a planet and committed mass genocide. That's why.
Well, he didn't know that at the time.
He knew it later.
But so it's still like he was just by that point. He's like, who cares? Who cares?
And why does Rey care? Why can't Rey be?
Because throughout all three movies, her arc has always been, who am I?
Yeah, she's
remember that line from The Last Jedi.
I'm Rey Palpatine. That's my name.
No, she doesn't identify with that. It's that whole notion of you choose your friends, not your family. And she was looking for a father figure, but what she found in Leia was a mother figure.
She knew Luke for like a day.
But she knew the legend.
Leia
There's-
Organa was the woman who
there's
trained
years
Leia.
that
Leia
she-
was the one who trained her for the
Huh?
last year.
She's a
Leia.
Skywalker. Leia's a Skywalker.
No, her name is Leia Organa.
She was adopted into Organa, but she's really
Exactly.
a Skywalker. She's really a Skywalker, though. She's
Right,
not.
but her name is. She didn't change her name to Skywalker. Her name is. She kept her adoptive name
She
of
never mentioned
Organa.
her name in Star Wars at all.
It's Leia Organa.
Has she ever mentioned her
It's-
name in the movie?
It's her last name is Organa. Yes.
In the
She's
movie,
General. She was called. Yeah, in the movie, she was called
Oh,
General
okay.
Organa. General Organa in the sequel trilogy. So yeah, huzzah.
Yeah, but she's blood Skywalker though.
Okay.
Oh, Palpatine's worse than
Rey
Skywalker.
Rey is blood Palpatine.
Yeah, but even the reason one Skywalker fell was because of Palpatine.
Right. But Palpatine fell because of another Palpatine. So she
What?
could
Palpatine-
she could
never-
restore the honor of the Palpatine name. So there you
There's
go.
no-
I don't think there's ever any honor in the Palpatine name. I think at that point,
Well, I mean, technically there is if a Palpatine was defeated by a Palpatine. So yeah. And a Palpatine was the one who rejected her father and tried to protect his daughter from him. So that means there was honor
Who do you
among
rather
the
be, a
Palpatine line.
Skywalker, Jeffrey, or a Palpatine?
I mean, Rey. I think. I mean, in this case, Palpatine, because the Palpatine defeated
You'd
the
rather be
Palpatine.
a Palpatine?
Why not?
Well, because
I mean, why?
he blows up planets, creates.
I mean,
Death
so does
Stars.
Darth Vader.
Not really. Those are all.
Darth
the
Vader
order-
did some pretty. Darth Vader.
technically, that was Grand Moff Tarkin who pulled the trigger on
Okay,
Alderaan.
Darth
So-
Vader. Look what Darth Vader did at the end of Rogue One.
Oh wait, keyword Darth Vader. You ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. So when he
Okay.
became, he's not Anakin Skywalker at that point.
Okay.
Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are different. Once he
So
became
is Count Dooku not Count Dooku? He's
Count
Darth
Dooku, I don't know
Tyrannus?
his real.
he's Darth Tyrannus, even though he continued
Tyrannus,
to be called Count Dooku.
Well, because people see the way he looks, but he's really
All right.
Darth Tyrannus.
And Rey is really Rey Palpatine.
She's adopted into that. Which who? Rey?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Rey.
Rey does not deserve to be called Skywalker.
I
Yeah, but-
disagree.
Okay.
Well, okay. She may not deserve to be called Skywalker, but she does call herself Skywalker.
Right. I don't like that either.
That's fine, but she could still tell that old woman she's a Skywalker. I could say I'm a black. Anybody
Nothing
could say that-
nothing about any of that felt right to me. It all felt wrong. Awkward, wrong, confusing. It's
But she
not
could
they don't earn it.
Nah, maybe.
They don't earn it. None of
Well,
it.
I'm with you.
It's-
I think the trilogy.
Everything left a bad taste in my mouth. More so than Last Jedi, more so than Force Awakens, a movie I loved and enjoyed. I walked out Force Awakens happy. I'm like, we can work with this. There's new places to go. There's new characters. There's hope. There was hope after Force Awakens. I believe that. But squandered. J.J. Abrams epitomized the criticisms of Force Awakens for this movie. They are more applicable to Rise of Skywalker than The Force Awakens, in my opinion. I thought Force Awakens had newness to it. We had Finn, who was a fresh new character. We finally we can see the other side of it. See what do these stormtroopers think of being in a Nazi army?
Well,
And we get
that's
to
the
see,
thing. I think
A
Finn should've-
defecting stormtrooper.
Have you
That's great material. I think.
Have you ever
that.
seen the deleted scene with the guy that played? Shoot, I always forget his name. The guy that played Bane.
Tom
Tom
Hardy?
Hardy.
Yeah,
Yeah, from
If you
Last
can find
Jedi.
that
Yeah.
deleted scene, Matt, and play
I've
it.
seen it. I have
Awful.
I have the Blu-ray. I reviewed the Blu-ray.
Film that.
What was that?
Why would anybody film that?
It was a goofy. It was a goof. I think
It
the
has a stormtrooper grabbing Finn's ass, dude. No one should film that. That should not have been.
no.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I mean, I
Bro.
mean, they cut that. I mean, but I mean, Lewis, they cut that scene. That scene
It
was
doesn't
not in the
matter.
film.
You thought of it. It should have, instead of saying, "Hey, you know," when they thought they were gonna get caught, they should have said something like, "Hey, just so you know, Finn, F11T, whatever his name is."
Maybe I
They should have said, "Well,
okay.
with
Maybe Ryan Johnson didn't know that Tom was gonna pat him on the ass. I don't know.
you." Well,
That
he's
could have
a
been
director.
an huh?
He's a director.
Yeah, he is. But like
He-
maybe Hardy was playing around and did that in the moment. I don't know. But
Jeez. Yeah, but dude, come on. No, they said it was
What?
a deleted scene. I mean, someone
okay.
gave.
So what's the problem? So what's the problem?
You're good with that, but not.
I'm not. I never said I was good with it. I'm glad they cut it out, but it was cut from the film, so it's kind of
I'm not
hard for me to be emotional about a scene that's not even meant to be a part of the actual movie. It's like I don't know. It's like getting mad. It's like getting mad at me getting mad at Tony Stark shaving Rocket's head.
The Last Jedi.
What was that?
Okay, everyone thinks Kylo Ren's an idiot. He fought an
Right.
invisible man, okay?
Right.
Then
Yeah.
he even has that Hux guy looking at Kylo Ren, like rolling his eyes at him because he's so pathetic, looking at Han Solo's dice, right? Then we
Right.
see that the rebels are they're the rebels now, because now in The Last Jedi they actually call themselves rebels, because you see
Right.
I don't know if that was deleted, but Finn goes, "We're rebel scum," or whatever. So
That wasn't deleted.
they leave the planet after the battle, like hopeful, like, and even everyone on
Right.
the Millennium Falcon smiling, having a good time, like they won the lottery. And then you
Yeah.
got the thing where the kid, I don't really even mind that, but
Broom
kid-
Kid.
yeah, he's telling the story of what we just saw about Luke Skywalker in the battle, and I
Right.
kind of don't know how he knows it. And then
Tamiri Black.
he looks up in the sky and he sees a shooting star, which is the Millennium Falcon. So it pretty much ends the entire trilogy right there. That's the
Right.
end. Like, the good guys won. I mean, it's okay for a
Mhm.
third movie, but J.J. Abrams within 2 years has to create a villain, do VFX.
That's on him, man.
Well,
he
but-
agreed. He agreed to it. He agreed to it.
But the circumstances he's with, it's like, what could he-
Abrams did not. I don't know if you guys know. Abrams did not want to release a December 2015 movie.
he wanted to
The first
delay it.
time around. Yeah, he definitely did. And he
No.
had to rewrite. He and Kasdan had to rewrite a script in 6 months because they didn't like what Michael Arndt was doing.
Which film?
Michael Arndt was working for Force Awakens. He was working on that script for over a year, and they tossed it in the trash. And they rewrote it from scratch because they didn't like it. So he knew this was not a good idea. He did it anyway. So I mean, I can't.
Well, he's
I'm more than willing to spread the blame around, but the blame does fall on his shoulders to a certain degree. I'm not going to let him escape blame on this because he was in a tough spot. I mean, we're all in tough spots in our lives, but you gotta go through anyway. But whatever.
Yeah, but I think you dislike the movie more than I do. I actually
Sure.
think it's fine.
Okay.
But I also think Star Wars deserves better. That's all I can say.
Right. Of course it does.
This is, I mean, it's kind of dumb that I think like this maybe to some people, but I think Star Wars is it's part of history and it's part of American history. It needs to be taken care of. It's part of culture. I met a lot of people that have life experiences with their family, with friends, going to the movie, escaping, and just feeling great watching Star Wars. And the way it was, it seems like it was mishandled. is unacceptable.
Well,
Star
you
Wars.
see, I felt good leaving Force Away. I felt happy.
Yeah, and let me tell you this, Jeffrey.
I left this movie. I felt empty and like not like bittersweet sad. I was just sad.
But some of the things how many times have you seen it?
Twice.
Okay, the second time I saw it, I actually liked it more. So
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
didn't feel as rushed. I was expecting the stuff. There's a lot
Louis,
of stuff. Yes,
Lewis, how do you justify the return of Palpatine?
well, okay, there's a saying, just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it's an error. Okay, so how do I justify it? Well, there's many ways you could justify it. One, Palpatine could have been anticipating the fact that the Sith betray each other and send a clone to the second Death Star, and that wasn't even him. That's one way you could have done it, right? So it wasn't really even Palpatine. There are things I've read before that have been mentioned in the books and comics that few people have actually seen Palpatine during the Age of the Empire. That some people.
Why would he clone himself though?
Because he knew Darth Vader.
Because okay,
he knew Darth Vader and Anakin and Luke.
Palpatine is so he's a despot. He is so consumed. He is greedy and he is so consumed with his own power. Why would he clone himself and create another him to take power from him?
I'll fake him. The real one may have been somewhere else. There's an entire thing where like he knew Vader was going to betray him. Because that's
so you're saying the end of Return of the Jedi was a clone the whole time and it wasn't the genuine article.
That's one way to explain how he's back. Two, there's also these are
for me to accept.
Yeah.
That if I'm going to accept that was a clone at the end of Return of the Jedi, that totally invalidates that movie. It makes that movie trash,
I tend to agree with you, but you're asking me. It doesn't invalidate the movie. It makes it like less special of what Vader did, maybe, right? So you're asking me how Palpatine survived. That's one way. Another way is these are space wizards. He could have, I don't know, levitated somehow or broken his fall.
Here's my thing: the end of Last Jedi. To me, the new status quo is the new villain is Kylo Ren. He's the supreme leader. So that's your villain. That's your final. Yeah. He's your final boss.
You can't sell Kylo Ren after The Last Jedi, in my opinion.
Why?
Okay, because he's lost every fight to Rey. He just got humiliated, like I said, in front of the entire. He's supposed to order these dudes around, right? And in front of them, he went ballistic against a ghost that wasn't even there with Luke Skywalker.
So you're saying he's flawed?
He's humiliated. He's a humiliated leader.
That sounds interesting to me. That sounds like a good way. It sounds like you have.
He's lost.
It sounds like you have elements to break down the First Order from that, and how the army wouldn't have faith in their leader, in one movie you can't.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about.
You're saying he was humiliated in front of it, and like man, I don't know about this Kylo Ren anymore. What do we? I mean, we got this guy in charge.
The audience is not,
okay,
not going to buy it.
It just sounds like to me that's the setup that they gave from The Last Jedi.
Yes, there was no. It was the end of the trilogy, in my opinion. When I saw The Last Jedi, I was like, okay.
No, to me, the setup is that Kylo Ren is the final villain, the final challenge of the whole movie, is what seems like they should have been doing, and not like, oh, Palpatine's back. By the way, we're going to give it away in the first 2 minutes.
In my opinion, like the last Jedi did not. There was very conversation about going, oh, I can't wait what they do for episode 9. Like there was,
right?
I don't know what to say after that movie. I thought it was like, it felt like the end of the to me. That's all. That's pretty much my feeling.
See, here's where I'm at with the whole thing.
Yeah.
I am okay that it's over. I am looking to the future now. Like
I'm not
Mandalorian was
okay with
great.
it though. Why
You
does it have to be over?
No one cares.
It's not that it's the Skywalker saga is over for
Yeah.
now. For
Why?
now,
But why does it
until they
have to be
start
over?
because they let Ryan Johnson kill Luke Skywalker. It just and then Carrie Fisher actually died.
It wasn't even the way it wasn't even a Luke dying for me. It was just so awkward and weird. He gets on that rock, falls
I
side.
mean, why couldn't Luke have had kids?
Yeah, Ray Skywalker. There you go. He gave the nod at the end.
Yeah.
If Luke had kids, you'd be saying, "Oh, I don't like that idea."
But why does this have to? I don't like. Why does the book have to be closed at all? I don't get that.
Because
Kathleen Kennedy said we probably see Skywalkers in the future again.
well, the thing, okay, like Disney Plus is going to be where a lot of it's at. So
But they're not real Skywalkers. They're fake Skywalkers.
Who?
The Skywalker line, the real Skywalker line is over.
We don't know if Luke got it on with Jade.
He didn't.
We don't know.
we don't know that. He could have gotten like a a forced boner.
Yeah. You know
There's so much we don't know. And remember, the EU is not canon. So there's so much we don't know. So it's that.
So the stories we should have gotten for this film.
There's a lot of stuff. I agree with you, Jeffrey. I'm not disagreeing with you with a lot of stuff. All those years of waiting, what happened after the Return of the Jedi, among the anticipation for me was, did Luke continue teaching Jedis? We kind of got that answer, but we never saw him teaching other Jedis. What happened to the Empire? We have no effing idea. We're kind of getting hints of it.
Yeah, we do. We know what happened to the Empire.
But the infighting, I want to see infighting. I want to see espionage. I want to see those guys get greedy and start. I want to see AT-ATs versus AT-ATs. No one knows chaos. I want to see Imperial chaos as Leia and the crew are trying to reestablish the Republic. We didn't see the New Republic. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why Kylo Ren hates his parents. I want to see more Sith Lords appear that didn't respect the rule of two. The rule of two, right? That was something that was established in the prequels. Why would anyone follow that after? Because the whole religion of the Jedi was oppressed. After Return of the Jedi,
here's what my whole problem now. Because they kind of created this arbitrary ending with Episode 9, I'm worried we're perpetually stuck in perpetual prequel rubbish for the rest of whenever they want to make new movies until.
So you think we're going to go back in time?
I don't want us to keep going back in time forever, which
that's fair. Yeah.
What I want, the whole reason I wanted sequels, because okay, we're in new territory now. Like this is not like there's like we're off book. And now that we're on this sour note, they're like, oh, the saga is over. Well, I mean, I don't understand this idea that the saga has to end or it has to end here. That makes no sense to me. Like,
it's a promotion gimmick. Star Wars is not going to end right here.
Why can't we see a new era with like a new, like the reborn Jedi, which is what I would want to see.
Because that's what
I think. Right. So like, let's see a Jedi reborn era after all this, which would, I think, at least sort of legitimize the sequel trilogy if we could get something like that. Because, okay, they didn't go that direction for the sequels, but I think shouldn't the natural progression be, okay, they almost did it, but now we have new heroes to carry it on. So now we will have a more moderate reborn faction of Jedi who will guard the galaxy.
That's what the Force Awakens should have been.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's what this
But like I'm hearing all this Project Luminous nonsense. I'm like, why is that I'm not really interested in that. That doesn't sound like, okay, so now we want, basically we're gonna redo the prequel trilogy, except now it's 450 years ago instead of like 30
Prequels didn't
something.
go far back enough.
Right.
When I saw the prequels, I was like, okay, when they started talking about like
Right.
the formation of the republic 1,000 years ago, and there was
I don't
three,
even well, I don't
there
even
was
want
two.
like fans think
Hold
they
on, hold
want,
on, hold on.
yeah,
And I want
sorry.
it. I'm like, so when I started watching the prequels, I'm like, you're telling me there's a prequel to the prequel? I'm here to see how all this crap started, and then you're not really even telling me that. You know what I mean? So I thought the prequels. I'm not a fan. When Obi-Wan Kenobi said, "For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi's were the keepers of peace and justice in the Old Republic," I wanted to see that movie. Not like those were rushed with the Clone
Well,
War and everything.
I mean, like there's a lot of historical markers, but I want to see new history. I don't want to see old stuff, basically.
Yeah.
I don't see why they have to be shackled by exploring the history of the
Well,
Jedi,
okay.
Republic, whatever.
They're not. The thing is, they're no longer shackled. They
Sure they
are. No, they're not. They're no longer shackled in the way that you think that they might be. They are shackled. They aren't shackled to any concept right now. We only know that if they go backwards, this is from a potential rumor. We don't know if it's real or not.
No,
Oh,
Jan.
sorry.
No,
Well,
Jan.
I'm gonna log off in a minute. I did not want to be on for
Okay,
like
fine,
an
fine.
hour.
Log off. Jeffrey and I will be talking 24 hours.
Well, anyway, the idea here is just they're not shackled to Skywalker, which was the whole point.
Mm.
So they finished that. Whether you like it or not, you clearly don't, but they finished it. It's done. And it needed to be. The sequel trilogy was probably like the worst thing they could have done, but I still think it was better than whatever the hell Lucas would have come up with.
Yeah.
And I say that because Lucas surrounded himself with yes men for decades.
And stopped directing movies.
You
So he
could
was very
do
out of practice.
you could do a new trilogy that's set 1,000 years later. Let's check back in the galaxy 1,000 years later and see what's going on.
Sure, why not? I'm fine with it.
Yep.
I don't care where they go next. I'm just glad this is done. Because now they know they have to have a plan. Now they know they have to actually have a thing.
To be fair, I don't know until they show me. Because
they're gonna have, this is the whole thing with them bringing up, like, let's say Favreau and Filoni. I mean, looking at the influence Filoni had on Mandalorian in regards to what made it into the show, which was a lot of Clone Wars references and even Rebels references.
I think his world building is very good, Filoni's, but I don't think directing he's there yet.
What is the helmet rule with Mandalorian, Matt?
What I believe is, and I don't know for certain, this is just my speculation. The helmet rule. Okay. If you go and you watch Clone Wars, when they go to Mandalore, Pre Vizsla, who was Paz Vizsla, the big heavy Mandalorian,
Heavy infantry, John Favreau.
Yeah. So John Favreau voiced Pre Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla and Pre Vizsla.
He did both.
Yeah.
If you'd let me speak, I could finish. I'm trying to say. And so he didn't wear his helmet all the time. So I'm wondering if after the events of the Great Purge, did the Mandalorians kind of regress backwards instead of being more open, which is what was the name of the the one prime minister of Mandalore that Obi-Wan was with?
Bo-Katan, Duchess Satine Katan.
Duchess Satine, thank you. Like they didn't wear their helmets there. They were peaceful. They're pacifistic, right? So I'm wondering if when that whole thing went down, if they just reverted back to the warrior ways. These are our old ways. They're not corrupted. And when you go and you look at Mandalorian season finale and Death Watch picks up, Din, baby Mando, and takes him away, you're like, oh, Death Watch, those are fucking extreme terrorists. Those are extremists. You know? So
Mhm.
Mando it was raised by fucking terrorists.
Pre Vizsla was Death Watch.
Yes. And you're telling me that Paz Vizsla wasn't? Is there I mean, pretty sure it's
But
not a coincidence that he happened to
but
be there with this kid.
but Dean said he's been wearing his helmet since he was a child.
When he was adopted into the race,
Right.
when he was
So
adopted into the creed of,
it was childhood. So it was before the Great Purge
uh
because he was a foundling.
when did the Great Purge happen in regards to, we don't know. It was Clone Wars.
So you're saying it happened before, but
We don't know the
but-
time frame. We don't know. I'm just speculating. We don't know the
but
time
after-
frame.
Okay, if that's the time frame, what about Sabine? And Sabine's family take their helmets off
I
all the
don't
time.
know. I don't know. I'm telling you, this is like the warrior. This is like a Culvern. This is a certain subject.
But-
I don't know who the armorer was. The one who was clearly the one in charge. I don't know.
I'm
how,
saying there are
I'll-
contradictions.
well, possibly we don't, but we don't know how hardcore this particular group is. We don't know, and that's going to be explored clearly in season 2. But if they're Death Watch are extremists. So
Right.
that's how I'm looking at it for right now. These are extremists. They have no problem committing acts of terror, and who's to say that they decided to just not take off the helmet because that's how their
When did
culture
that
works.
start? When did that start, though?
I don't know. I'm not Dave fucking Filoni.
That sounds pretty important.
It's because just because we don't know it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean it
but
doesn't
like-
mean it's not going to be explained in the next season.
I'm just saying, if you're going to introduce these new essences of Mandalorian culture when previously established material contradicts that, it's a bit problematic to me.
Yeah, Matt.
Oh my fucking god.
Matt, explain it.
Oh my god, I'm going to murder both of you.
I'm not saying I mean, sure.
No, because
I mean,
you are literally nitpicking something that I have zero answer for.
right.
So it's such a moot point to make because there's no way for us to know. There is literally no way for us to be able to explain this
Honestly, I think you were told
Why doesn't Favreau and Filoni answer these questions?
because season 1 had to set the shit up. Season 2 is where they can start to explain it.
Will they explain it?
I don't know. I'm not a fucking mind reader.
If
Yeah,
they don't explain it, don't you think that would be a bit disappointing?
If they don't explain it, yes, it will be a bit disappointing. And I would like to then ask those questions.
I have a question. Have you watched The Witcher yet?
No, I have not been able to.
Hey, my
I got
camera-
5 minutes into the first episode, and then
Oh,
my
wow.
daughter just started screaming.
Well, it is that type of. I mean, yeah, it is. That
Well,
type.
she was not screaming because of that. She was crying because she was hungry. But
Well-
when I'm trying to listen to the dialogue, which
right,
you
you
need
got
to hear,
You got kids,
it
when you
becomes
have
difficult.
when you have kids, it's trying to find time to just sit and watch a Netflix series can be difficult. I get that,
Yeah, one where there's lots of exposition and there's also lots of nudity. So
but I'm surprised you still haven't watched the greatest show of 2019 yet. That is more popular than The Mandalorian.
because oh my god, Jeffrey, you do realize the Mandalorian's not released worldwide yet, right?
I mean, I have nothing to do with that. We know people are watching it worldwide, and we know.
There's no.
I have read Parrot Analytics tracks the pirated streams. So
did you
when
like
they say The Witcher, when they say Witcher is more popular than Mandalorian, that
Did you like
includes
Transformers?
pirated
Michael Bay's Transformer?
no.
Oh, did you like Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
Yeah, I did like King of them. I liked it more
Okay,
than the first
Godzilla
Godzilla.
is better because it made more money. More
Who said
people.
that?
Well, I'm using your argument.
Well, I mean, we're not talking about money. These are streaming TV shows.
Avatar is better than most movies because it made more money.
That's just how good The Witcher is, Matt. As good as The Mandalorian is, The Witcher is better. So I'm just saying you're missing out.
Well, it's not that I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
It's I just have not been able to sit down and actually like, enjoy it. I have a lot going on.
Right.
And
I hope you will have the time at some point because I feel like you will.
yeah. Well,
you will
maybe
be
tomorrow I'll get lucky. I
And you will-
work a lot. I just work a lot. So I
Right.
just, I have to work when I have time.
The time will come when Matt will toss a coin to our Witcher.
Yeah. I know
Oh,
the meme.
Valley
I've seen the
of
meme. I've seen
Yes.
the meme. I've seen that meme floating around.
Matt wants to toss a coin. He just needs to once he finds the time, he's going to toss that coin.
Yeah. Well, it's like sitting, I just got to install Netflix on my PS4 and I can put headphones on and watch at night. So that was a problem. Like I woke up at I fell asleep at 7:30 p.m. last night, slept until 1:30, and I woke up and and I thought, I could watch. I'm like, I could watch The Witcher right now because I'm awake and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I'm like,
But then you'd have to watch the whole thing.
I'm like,
it's like binging.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go play video games. So I played.
I got to be
PUBG.
honest, Matt. I have major league respect for you for what you put on social media about the Entertainment Weekly writers who did that review. Just because I didn't comment on it, and I'm gonna refrain from commenting on it. But I respect that you said something about that. I mean, Lauren Hisrick commented on, like, kind of indirectly commented on it, but I give you major league props for saying what you did.
Well, I thought that was.
I think it needed
terrible.
to be said. I think it needed to be said.
Well, what's really funny is like I had actually heard about that the day before I did my video on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I read about it on Reddit, and I'm just like, that seems weird. I'm like, but I was busy. I'm like, oh, I'll get back to it later on. And then I read through the review, and I'm like, how did this get? Like,
how did it get published?
How did this end up getting anything? Like, how did they not go, are you fucking stupid?
Because they don't have an editor. They probably just have a upload.
Well, it's Entertainment Weekly. I guarantee you they've got
like, I mean, do they have any editing standards over there? Like,
probably not.
Through the editor didn't I'm
not going to say too much else. But I appreciate that you did say something, because I think it needed to be said, and other people have commented on it. They know who they are, but I mean, I just can't fathom what happened there.
There are a lot of reviewers,
dude. I still want to go after the Hollywood Reporter for the whiteness of Toy Story 4 article, because it's so insanely bad.
Who wrote that?
Fuck, what was his name?
Something Galloway?
Was it Galloway? It might have been Galloway.
I'm sick. Can I say something, man? I'm so sick of this. Like, it's really getting on my nerves. Like, everything is race. Ugh.
Yeah, it was Stephen Galloway.
Stephen Galloway.
And the thing is, like, this reading through the article, it's so ridiculous because he just, I mean, I've watched Toy Story 4 at least 10 times in the past week and a half.
The little girl and her family at the end.
They're Latino.
Were they Latino? They were, but they were people of color.
Yeah, but they're Bonnie's Latino. She was pretty much just
Phoenix.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Lewis.
Not Bonnie, but the family who the
Gabby goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a person of color. Yeah.
Where is he? What
Hollywood Reporter?
It's Stephen Galloway. The whiteness of Toy Story. Never mind the fact that the Duke Kaboom is voiced by mixed actor Keanu Reeves.
But Duke Kaboom is not mixed. He's he's
not mixed. But they're trying to say like, he's like, oh, but like, look at how much money, like the family has, basically, right? Like he tries to like wealth shame Bonnie's family because they rented an RV and went on a road trip, and they happened to go to a fair.
Mean, her mother works at a daycare. To me, that's like, it's not like it's not like a fancy private school. It's a little kid daycare. Like, to me, what's more middle American than that? Like that wasn't like some fancy private school her mother works at. Like we don't know what her father does, but whatever. I mean,
Well,
like Matt, can a middle American family not rent an RV
Maybe
and
it
go
was-
on a road
well,
trip?
no, I mean, yeah, no, I've rented an RV and gone on a trip, and it's fucking
maybe the
expensive.
article was a typo. It should have said the white. Maybe the guy meant
No,
to say-
this is I will read from you. This is an
No,
exact
hold
quote from the article. TS4's hold on. TS4's main family lives in a big, brightly lit house in an ivory utopia. Its daughter sleeps in a plush room packed with the U.S. Treasury's worth of gizmos. They drive around in gas-guzzling RV, stopping for carnivals and carnies that would be right at home in 1940s or 1950s. Problems of prejudice, money, and unemployment never seem to cross anyone's mind.
It's a cartoon for kids. Dude.
I mean, my family were like my family was like upper, not like, you know, we weren't like rich people, but we went on trips and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's so weird. It's just,
Wasn't this guy that wrote this? Isn't he like? Well, I guess he knows his own.
he is white. Yes.
Yeah, he's
No,
white.
He's
Yeah.
Caucasian.
Like
Okay. Here's what I take issue
You're
with.
talking about the Hollywood Reporter that should have read the
A host of new ones, including a very white fork.
What?
A very white. Each of the leads is Caucasian, and not just the franchise regulars, but a host of new ones, including a very white fork. So we're
Like this author.
so Tony Hale, basically Tony Hale, you're a bad person because you're white, and you're a bad person because Pixar animated your spork character to be a white plastic spork instead. I mean, Matt, there is black plasticware. I eat with black plasticware all the time. Why couldn't Forky have been black plasticware and had a
Mine
person
are
of color?
Mine are brown because I usually like when I eat with forks, I eat
Right.
Black beans and rice. How's that for?
Okay.
Because I'm Latino. There.
Right. So I mean, why? But
Right.
why did Forky have to be white, guys?
Because they washed them. I don't know. It was a white fork.
But that's a problem, because
Okay. Here's the deal. Woody, right? He's white, right?
Yeah.
How come, like, when he's standing next to Forky, they're not the same color? Maybe Steven.
That's a good
Yeah.
question, Lewis.
Forky's white, and so is. I'm looking at the picture right here, and I mean, let's get into stupidity, right? So, like, yeah, Woody looks like he's more peach. So,
But I have a
Isn't it
question for you guys.
all
Do you think Stephen Galloway genuinely believes this, or did he write
Yes.
this just knowing?
Because there's a passage at the
Okay.
end here that I think really kind of solidifies
Okay, go
it.
ahead.
He says, if you're white and middle class, as I am, if you drive a nice car and have a safe job, all this may seem moot. But not if you're the 5-year-old African-American girl a friend of mine recently adopted. I was about to give her Toy Story 4, but I've changed my mind because it sends the worst sort of message to a child like her. You're an outsider, kept at a distance from everything fuzzy and fun in American life.
people like him always remind people that they're different. They're pushing racism. People like
I'm
him
risking,
are
you
the-
know.
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm done with this shit. People like him are the real racist, always constantly reminding people that they're different, putting them in boxes. My son watches movies, and thank God he watches all the Marvel movies. When it came to Black Panther, he never blinked once that it was mostly an African American cast. He doesn't give a shit about that. It's when they grow up and read articles like this asshole racist telling them that people are different is when you create this kind of shit, because that little girl's probably going to read this and go, wow, you know, that's right. Maybe he has a point. I shouldn't like Toy Story. They're excluding me somehow. People are reading this. These people are doing more damage. Stop following morons like this. Get on the internet and slam these people. Do not click on the Hollywood Reporter. Oh my God, this is just ridiculous.
The end of the movie shows little, you know, redhead Gabby doll gets adopted by
Hollywood Reporter.
I just don't get it. This article is horrifying to me. it's horrifying.
It's constantly
don't know
reminding
what-
people that they're different. When kids read this, when they're able to read stuff like this, because unfortunately there's a lot of Galloway guys and people like that. They start to notice that they're different because the articles like this, people like this, constantly remind you that you're not the same. They're trying to somehow exclude you. You know?
Yeah, it's all pretty fucking.
Did
stupid.
either of you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I haven't seen
Yeah,
it
I
yet.
Lewis, do you think Tarantino should release a 4-hour extended cut?
No, he should release a 4-hour deducted cut. It was too long and boring.
Wow. But it's
Unless
doing,
I
it's
want to
more-
see the 4-hour cut.
I don't.
it's doing well with the awards though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Joker,
not
I mean,
for me.
Joker seems to be doing well too, Lewis. You should be happy about that. It did well
It
at the
should
Golden
be
Globes,
doing
right?
better, actually, but okay.
What was that?
You should have been doing better.
But you were you would text me and you were so upset about some of the reviews. And
I still am. What do you mean were? It got,
You,
it
like,
got okay. You
you
know
were
what? You're,
upset about the tomato meter.
wait, hold on. You're okay. It's getting
Uh-oh. Don't say anything unkind about Joker in front of Lewis. He will literally unfriend you.
You're talking about review bombing about The Witcher, right? How people did not watch the show and gave it a bad review. Same thing was going on for the Joker. You could track people on Twitter talking about the movie, what it's about, what they didn't like about it before they even saw the movie. And guess what? Those certified Rotten Tomato critics gave the movie a bad review. Gee, coincidence? I think not. This movie was photo bombed. It was review bombed by the critics. Period. And then you got people on YouTube, big YouTubers that do movie reviews, not having it in their top 25 movies of the year. Get out of here.
I'm not sure I would have it in the top 25.
Of course not, because you're a Marvel fanboy.
I love DC comics too.
No, you're a Marvel fanboy. I think
Oh.
people that don't want sequels to Joker or talk like, oh,
Oof.
this is not the Joker,
Oof.
are Marvel people who are scared of this will overtake Marvel films, which
Okay.
I don't really think so. I mean, there's room for both, but
I don't care. Like
Lewis, do
okay.
you want a sequel to the Joker?
hell yeah.
Okay.
That's at this point, that's I think all he wants to own is the
I don't know.
Joker.
I
He's
bought
like,
10 Blu-rays today. The Joker. It's 1:00. I'm
Well-
gonna order another one on eBay.
fine, give me the fucking digital code then.
No, I listen. I buy Joker Blu-rays, 4K specifically, and I claim every code. All right, I want them all.
I think it's time you go to bed.
I mean, I think the movie's done great. I mean, it doesn't really need you.
No, I'm happy with it. I just,
Yeah.
I think it needs a fair shake. If Jeffrey, if you saw the movie, right?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it
You
early.
think it's great? Fine. You saw the movie at least.
I gave
you
it a
got-
fresh rating.
Got people on. Well, you're not on Rotten Tomatoes.
Exactly.
Okay, but
okay.
you got people on the internet who are on Rotten Tomatoes who have a huge reach and have no talent. All right, they got their reach by being part of corporations and stuff.
Right.
And then they get their blue check mark nonsense and their Rotten Tomato certification, ragged on the movie for personal reasons, never or personal feelings, and then gave the movie a bad review without even watching it. Period.
I
saw-
think the reason people misdirected their anger at that movie. I think the reason people were scared of the movie, and I think that's a good thing, because I think movies are good when they kind of tap into our primal fears, right? And I think whether it's rational or not, the movie taps into, I think, primal fears or societal fears that we have in our culture right now. And I think that's, I mean, if a movie can do that, I mean, to me, that sounds like a good movie, right, guys?
Yeah,
If it can do that.
I thought Joker was just, was disturbing. Never once that I was rooting for him to kill people. That's ridiculous,
Right.
I felt like, you remember when Palpatine told Anakin that about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis. I mean, yeah, was it?
Darth
Yeah, Darth
Plagueis
Plagueis the Wise.
And he said, and he goes, ironic. He could stop those. He could save. What did he say? He couldn't save himself from death. Remember
He
when he
could
killed
save
him in
the
his sleep?
people he cared about, but not himself.
Yeah.
Something like
And
that.
I felt I felt it was disturbing to hear Palpatine say that, and that's the exact same way I felt when Joker was in the police car, seeing all that destruction. That's how he found acceptance. I thought that was interesting.
I
That's the
think there
scene
was a
that-
lot of interesting stuff in the movie.
And I think, hey, look, I don't mind if people don't like it and stuff, but I saw a lot of chatter. I saw the movie early, and I saw a lot of people just ragging on the film. Every ham and egg person with without merit somehow all of a sudden came out of the woodwork to give a Rotten Tomatoes review.
Right.
Rotten Tomatoes has a you need certain credentials, right? 30,000 followers on YouTube. I was seeing people with 500 followers on YouTube, subscribers, doing nonsense reviews on Joker, that had nothing to do with the movie. Oh, I heard from a person that said that there may be something bad in the theater with, too many calories in the popcorn.
Was Cats was Cats cat piled on?
People didn't like
Cats-
the trailer.
Did Cats get a bad an unfair shake here? A bad shake? Or?
Well, I mean, Cats is pretty shitty. So,
I didn't see it.
I haven't seen it either, so I can't fully say, but everyone I have talked to,
There seems a consensus that the movie wasn't that good. But hey, you know what? I kind of want to see it. I do want to see it.
I'm gonna get like really wasted and watch it. I think that's the only way to truly appreciate this whole thing. But anyway, I'm gonna go to bed because
Thank you
I'm
guys.
tired.
Hey Matt, thank you for letting me on. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to kind of argue. I know I did not want this to be 2 hours, but that's how it goes.
You liked it though.
Well, I had other things I wanted to do. I just wanted to jump on like an hour. I'll just take care of it tomorrow. It's fine.
Cover other topics.
Well, I didn't have any other topics. I had other things I had to do around the house. So,
Thank you guys. Have a good
So-
night. Happy New Year, everybody.
same to you, Jeffrey. Same
Thank
to you,
you,
man. Have a
Hollywood
good one.
After Dark.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
Matt, real quick, are you gonna go on live with this thing that's going on tomorrow with Hernandez?
No. I will watch it, and then I think I'm done talking about it. To be honest, I have talked about it a bit.
I think people want to know your take on it.
I might listen. Well, I mean, I did the what is it? The letter to, or the open letter video tonight, and that's at around, I don't know, it's a bit.
I think I'm gonna post a video later, and I'm just confused with this YouTube format. I don't want to sit here and talk about YouTubers and fucking how bad Star Wars is. I mean, that's the stuff that gets hits, unfortunately. I'm not disrespecting you for doing that. I mean, you do what you do, but that's just not me. I want to talk about like movies and shit, and it's just ridiculous with this algorithm. So I'm kind of like a little confused. So
Well, it's funny because like the comments on the video I did are interesting, because I thought I was being like critical, but I thought I was offering up some like fair advice.
yeah.
And then someone's like, it just sounds like you're begging for a job, and I'm like, I'm not begging for a job. I said, at one point I said, oh, well, potentially, like, I'm using me as an example, but I don't actually mean that.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe, who knows?
We'll figure it out, man. We'll wait. We'll wait to see what happens in the morning. He's going to be on there. I mean, a lot of people are kind of giving a lot of shit to Mark over this one because it just feels like it's desperate.
Yeah, he's not on cameras guy. Maybe, he just, he just ran out of money, man.
Yeah, I don't fault him for that at all, right? I don't.
And sometimes, at least the people there, I don't know if people are pissed off that they lost their job, but hey, you know what? Look at the bright side, guys. At least you had an opportunity, and a lot of people never even get there. So,
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I see it. Is just like bad things can happen. These things can happen, and it's not the end of the world. And
Forky's white. I'm looking at him right here, and he's really, really white. A fork, right here, Forky.
yeah, he's pretty.
Pretty white.
I don't know what the hell you're doing. Anyway, I'm gonna go.
All right, man, thanks for having me on. Man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Thanks everyone for watching. I know it's a long stream, and have a good one, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.